Hey friends, so I just wanted to quickly shoot a little video for you. As you probably know, I have been doing a lot of work with a physical therapist rehabilitating my right shoulder. I have a hooked acromion, which is the little part of your shoulder blade that comes up. Mine has a big old hook on it, which means I have a smaller space in my joint, which means I have a tendency to tear my tendon, which I did. And I don't know that tear is the right word to use. Maybe grind away at would be a more effective word. But long story short, I have reached the point of my rehabilitation to be doing sport-specific training. And so we got to talking about shouldered Vom Tag with my personal trainer. And one of the things we got into was discussing how we could be launching our strikes from that shoulder and how that could be maybe working into my problem. So we've developed an alternative way for me to adopt this guard that is going to give me more space in my shoulder joint and result in a much longer run for me. Hey guys, editing Jess here. I just wanted to let you know real quick, I am not the only person who has come up with this way of holding shouldered Vom Tag, so we don't need to make me the originator of the idea. It's just something that I actually came to with my personal trainer, so I wanted to share. And then of course, looking around, I've seen here and there a smattering of people using it. So I'm just sharing it because I like it. Anyways, back to the video. That being said, it feels so good. I've started offering it as an option for my students to work, and universally it is liked. So let's talk for just a second about it. So old school me, being inspired by medieval art and what we're seeing in the images, I would adopt Vom Tag on my shoulder, hands pretty high, shoulder back, you know, openness in the abs, all that stuff. But so as I did this, I would be pulling my arm to myself, pulling this all back, and I'm there and I could strike. And so one of the things that has happened over the years is with this elbow down and I'm going to strike and I'm already doing it, and going to close the hands and throw that sword out, is that my shoulder is, you can see this, is tipping forward in this way. And part of what's happening with that tip is my pecs are firing, particularly my pec minor is firing, and it's lifting my shoulder blade up. My levator is helping that, and so all of those things are throwing forward. So to exaggerate, my sword strike position from my shoulder, if I'm just throwing an Oberhau, would dip in there, not that bad, but would dip in there as my arm was coming forward. And so you can see that's what's happening, right? So, okay, so for me, no good. And maybe for more people than just me, it's no good, ultimately, after 20 years. So what we developed, the easiest way for me to take this, because it's not habit yet, is start up in my high Vom Tag, and rather than scooping into this position, elbow near the side and back, I'm dropping into here. So my hands are still retracted and out of my body's way. Abs are still open, everything's ready to fire. But having this elbow out is going to let me use my lower traps to bring my scapula back, which means when I strike, I'm using my lats to pull down, right? And everything is coming forward and down without that scapula feeling a need to lift until the end. right? It's not the first movement, it's the last. So what I can do then, and I'm still working on this, sorry, I have old habits, but what I can do then is as I'm striking, I can bring my scapula around my side here and drop that strike in. And so it is going to keep me out of the impingement, stop me overusing my pec minor, which I have a tendency to do, and my levator, which I have a tendency to do. And almost every hematist I know has a problem with their levator, so maybe this is an idea for you. So again, if I'm gonna come to get in this, then I can throw that strike there by dropping into that position and in, right? It doesn't take away from my ability to do any of my other strikes. They're all still there, that's fine. So whatever we're gonna be doing, but it does give me more space. I would also invite you then, if you wanna look back at the imagery, to have a consideration of what we're seeing. And when we look at the Von Danzig, I'll put the picture up, probably here. We're seeing that there's a lot of space here in the arm, in between the arm and the body. And I was always trying to achieve that space with this backwards movement of the elbow in order to get that. And so that's part of how I eventually developed this body position. However, right, if I drop into here, elbow up, that space is naturally there if I were to draw it, right? My elbow is still lower than my shoulder like in the drawing. It's not exactly the drawing, but none of us are exactly those drawings, right? So this gets me that opening easier and more natural. It's just we're not seeing it drawn from here. Again, we're seeing it drawn from here. So there's a reason why he looks all like tipped up and whatever, is because that elbow's up so that he can strike. Just some thoughts for a Friday. I love y'all. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.